Hi, I'm delighted to be here at Planted and welcome two really fantastic guests I've just been lucky enough to share a platform with. So we've got Lucy from Reserva and Lottie from UK Youth4Nature, and we've just been having a great conversation on stage about imagining future cities that are more connected with nature, designed more with nature in mind, and also very much about what we can do today to engage with nature projects, nature campaigns, and just generally promote nature. And so it's a real pleasure to have you guys here today. Thank you so much for being part of this event.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been so much fun and good to see the mix of people that have come down to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that was really evident in the audience today. So Lucy, perhaps if I could start with you. Could you tell us a little bit about Reserva, what you guys do, and what's the sort of concept behind the organisation?
Yeah, so it's a youth-led conservation organisation. It's been running for about 3 years now, and our three main pillars are education, storytelling and conservation. And our kind of big sell is that we're creating a network of youth-funded nature reserves across the globe. And as of, I think, the end of last year, we successfully created the world's first youth-funded nature reserve up in the Choco Cloud Forest in Ecuador. We're currently working to expand that. We have a lot of education and outreach campaigns, so our 1 Million Letters campaign is one of them, where we're asking kids to write a letter explaining what it is they love about nature, why it should be protected, addressed to world leaders. And we take those letters to conferences like COP26 that just happened in Glasgow, and also match each of them with $3, which is funneled into our conservation project. So at the moment, one letter written by a young person is enough to save a classroom-sized patch of rainforest. So that's what Reserva are up to at the moment.
Amazing. Lottie, say a bit about your organisation.
So I'm a voluntary organising member for UK Youth4Nature. So we are the UK's leading youth network to campaign against nature loss in the UK. So we run campaigns to influence the government and politicians to make better choices to protect nature in the UK. We run very varied campaigns, so some will be online, some will be in person. We like to have a creative spin on things. So one of our previous campaigns was Wild Walls, where we collaborated with local artists in cities across the UK to create murals of British wildlife that are under threat and their numbers are declining. We also ran another campaign within our Nature Cannot Wait campaign, where we had an artist design a piece of art shaped like the British Isles, which was made up of different wildlife. It was drawn in the sand on a local beach in the UK. And it was about time running out for nature, and the whole idea is that eventually the sea would wash away the lines in the sand, and it's a creative way to make a point that nature is running out of time in the UK.
That sounds like amazing projects that I'd love to see more of and hopefully showcase on Planted as well. But Lucy, in terms of sort of the young youth engagement, talk about youth-funded nature reserves. I mean, how does that actually work? What does that mean in practice?
So Reserva is led by its International Youth Council. I think there are about 50 or 60 of us now from, I'm taking a guess, around 20 different countries, from down in Ecuador up to the USA, over to India, London of course, and we're kind of in the driving seat. We have for a while we had committees, so some people are in charge of the media side of things, some people more campaign side of things, fundraising, and the power that we kind of have is that all of the young people on the Youth Council, obviously, we're all very passionate, but everyone's got all their different talents and skills as well. So we've had some really creative fundraisers to try and raise funds to protect our youth reserves. One of them was our concert for conservation. We had Olivia Rodrigo come on and perform a song, and it was all done virtually over Instagram.
Nice.
Not the best technically, sound quality wise, but you know, people donated and loads of people came along to watch that during the lockdown. We also had Run for the Rainforest as well, so we brought sport into it as well. We're asking people to go and do a virtual 5K and award people for the most creative route. We had someone run a route in the shape of a frog, you know. So we've kind of brought together loads of people's skills to run some really creative campaigns, and it's just being part of that community. There is the side where we have responsibility. We do go to these conferences and represent Reserva, being here today, talking, but the real power in it personally is just this connection and being able to work as part of a team and have all of these ideas, bounce all of these ideas around and make things happen when you're faced with something that's so big and overwhelming as biodiversity loss. Having a network to work within has been really, really rewarding.
We hear quite a lot about, because we're obviously looking to partner with businesses and organisations that are absolutely trying to do the right thing by the environment. It's not always hard, not always easy, as we talked about on the panel. But that sense that you're not alone in caring is really empowering, isn't it? Lottie, would you say?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, before I joined UK Youth4Nature, I didn't really feel like I could kind of vent my anxieties around biodiversity loss and climate change, and then finding UK Youth4Nature was like finding my community. And not only are they people I work with, but they're also some like my closest friends now. And there's something really nice about knowing you're not alone. I mean, the biodiversity crisis, the climate crisis, they're so huge, and it can feel really daunting sometimes to feel like you want to change that. And knowing that there's a group of other people around you who feel exactly the same as you and are willing to do whatever they can to help prevent these crises, it's a really nice feeling to know, and it definitely takes some of the anxiety that you get from the enormity of these problems. It takes that away.
And in terms of sort of what you can do, we talked about what individuals can do, but I mean, by joining your respective organisations, that is something that you're making a positive difference and engaging. And I guess from that engagement point, then so much can happen. Lucy, if I could just ask you, finally, what you do on a day-to-day basis just to try and get that connection back, which I think we all recognise on the panel that we've lost as a species in a way for all the reasons we explored. But what do you do daily to try and kind of feel connected?
I mean, for a start, I'm studying zoology, so just learning more about what's out there is one key thing. And making space for it and making time for it. If you've got a garden, let it grow wild. Have the wildlife come in. I was talking earlier on the panel about how we've all got our own, well, we all could have our own nature reserves. Everybody that's got a garden at least, or a balcony, or even a green space in a local park. And just opening up that space for wildlife, continuing to learn, like staying curious as well. I'd say is the main thing.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And Lottie, what about yourself?
If you have access, go into those wild spaces, go and find nature. I think there's something really inspiring about being able to physically experience nature, and for me personally, if I've had a stressful day, the one thing I think about doing is walking to my local green space. It always works, it always helps make me feel better. And as Lucy said, education, just continually learning is a great way to inspire people, and reading and engaging with documentaries is another way we can access nature without physically having to be there. And I think, again, that's a really great thing with social media and stuff. We can spread this word, we can spread this message, and we can show nature through social media to people who might not have access to that nature.
That's brilliant. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you both. A pleasure to share a talks panel with you, and you guys are always welcome at Planted, and look forward to seeing you at future events.
Likewise.
Thank you very much for having us.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.